Today we're looking at a real classic and a favourite amongst celebrities. John Travolta, Tony Curtis, Charlton Heston, John Lennon, even Elvis Presley bought one for his wife Priscilla, and it still resides at Graceland to this day. The Mercedes W113. Roll credits. You're watching Down at the Barns, following the stories of people and their love of classic cars. Everything from restoration to electric conversion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Morning, Nick.
Morning, Adam.
What a great car we've got here.
Yeah, Pergoda.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It is gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, so these were built between 1963 and 1971.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely car, it's a classic car, owned by many famous people, by the way. Did you know that?
No. To be honest, I don't know that much about them. It's
Okay.
not something that I've worked on before, so it's actually quite an adventure for us as well.
Yeah. And the bonnet, the boots and the roof were made of aluminium to make the car lighter.
Okay.
Now, that's interesting because we're removing the engine as well and putting the batteries in. Because sometimes, how does that work when you put the batteries in, making these things the right sort of weight?
Yeah, generally they come out. We try and match the original weight of the car, right?
Yeah.
Some cars we win, some cars we lose, and it really depends on how much battery you put in the car.
Right.
I think the idea with this one is not to try and put too much in. Although it looks like quite a big car, there isn't a huge amount of space in here. Under the bonnet, we'll look in a minute, and it's not as much room as you'd really think. So we're probably going to go with around about a 40 to 50 kilowatt hour pack, and then put fast charge on it for those longer distances, right, where you're going touring and that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Shall we look at the space you've got to work with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Give it a go. Yeah. No. Right.
Straight six is gone, gearbox is out, prop shaft's out, and I think we're ready to get this scanned. So the guys are coming next week to 3D scan the under hood area, and then the boot space as well. So as you can see, there's actually quite a lot going on. It hasn't got a conventional rack and pinion steering. It's got a steering box and then the link arm across. It's a bit similar to what we've seen in the Land Rover before.
Yeah.
But does take up quite. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on that side over there, right, with the booster and everything. So kind of out the way there. We've got lots of room. We've already measured up underneath. So we're going to put a 150 kilowatt motor with a reduction box straight onto the prop shaft, similar to what we've done on the Stag, the Lotus, etc. So that will all disappear up the tunnel. Then we get left with this space up the front for batteries. So as I said, I think try and split probably 18 modules between the front and the rear of the car, slightly more forward biased. There is a reasonable amount of space in the boot that we can look at for fuel tank, so we'll take that up and use that for batteries. But yeah, I think try and, as you said before, right, try and keep the weight down a little bit in the car, slightly smaller battery, and go from there really, and see where. And
then it'll be running very similar to the original.
Yeah, hopefully.
Nice.
We'll be very similar weight distribution as well, right? Not just overall weight, but weight distribution.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do too much with the handling and braking of the car as well.
So Nick, this will be one of your famous motors, one of your Torque X models. What's it going to be?
So we've branded up the motors that we use, because we use quite a few of those now. Pretty much every conversion uses that Torque X 120 or 150, depending on which power level you pick, and then we match that with the reduction box. So we've got two ratios of reduction box, a 2:1 and a 2.9:1. So we can match prop shaft speed to get similar top speed, and obviously putting it through a reduction box we boost the torque, so it's just over 300 newton meters. We can get 900 newton meters coming out the back of that reduction box, but spinning at 12,000 rpm it's prop shaft speed of about 4,000 rpm, which is it's probably not your high performance engine, but if you've got something like this car, it would restrict the top speed to about 100 miles an hour.
Right,
okay. Which is probably okay. We may have to change the rear axle ratio so that we can balance that performance versus speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the idea, that we can take that motor, put it through a reduction box to boost the torque.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. Shall we look inside?
Yeah.
So left-hand drive. What's your plans for inside?
I want to keep it as original as possible. I mean, it's gorgeous in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Not so sure about the brown, but, but
70s colour.
Yeah, but I mean, just the finish on this. It's just so nice. All of these. Look at these little vents in here, and all this. It's just gorgeous. I mean, it's just so nicely designed.
I like the elongated dials there with the temperatures and the fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
So I want to keep all of that, right? Keep it all original. And we like to stick screens in the car so that people can see the data that's coming off the electric system.
Yeah.
But in this car, that would spoil it. So we'll hide that away somewhere. You can pull it out, look at it. This is steel by the looks of things. So it'll be able to magnetically clip onto here, but then be able to hide it away just to keep that originality, right? Because it is lovely. I smell the seats are a bit weird, but I just love the interior on this. I think it's so well designed, and all these door handles and the styling that's in them, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it's got a great atmosphere about it. That gear stick is interesting. It's very thin. Yes,
well,
it's not what you expect.
Well, it's also quite interesting because it's a US car, but it was manual, right? Which was quite rare. So again, we're going to try and keep all of this and adapt the shifter so that it keeps that originality in here as well.
And that's something we've done on the other cars as well, isn't it? And it looks good, doesn't it?
Try and, let's say, keep the interior as original as possible, because I think that just adds to the just trying to keep the ethos of the original car.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of hate mail that we get around conversion of the cars, right?
Yeah, there is.
Away from original, right?
Yeah.
But the customer wants this done, right? So we're not going to convert the car, but do it as sympathetically as possible and keep the interior. Yeah, what I really like about what we do is when you walk up to the car, it's very difficult to tell that it's electric, right?
Yeah.
There's no telltale on it. Obviously, when you open up the bonnet or generally the boot, you'll see that it's electric, okay? But in the interior, I want to just try and keep it completely original, because then it just adds to that whole experience, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I think we've done well in doing that so far. It's been great.
Yeah, so far, yeah. And there's I think so far we've done pretty good on that.
And a lot of people that complain have never actually been in one or had the experience of it.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
But, everyone's allowed to have their opinion, right? Just personally, what we're trying to do at Eco Classics is just get that balance right. I don't want to destroy a car.
No.
Right? I don't cut him.
Well, we love cars, right? That's the whole point.
Well, yeah. but it's also just trying to do it as sympathetically as possible, but get some of the benefits around reliability, performance, eco-friendliness.
Yeah.
Right? So I just think, if we're going to do it, let's do it to the best of our ability and maintain as much originality of the car as we can.
Yeah. Right, in the rear of the car now, let's have a look inside the boot.
So we've still got a lot of the bits of the engine in here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Obviously we need to clear that out, but heat shield, intake manifold, maybe even a horn. Look at that! Wow! You talk about being lightweight. The horn weighs more than anything else in the car. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the spare wheel in the back here. We'll maintain that. It's a bit weird the way that it's fitted in there, but okay, that's not really going to affect us. The fuel tank is underneath the rear here, so whilst we're going to get the interior of the boot scanned in case we do need to use it, my intention is to put between 8 and 10, about 6 to 8 modules in the rear here, 8 to 10 in the front. That way we'll get good weight balance, and then we'll keep it all outside the car as well. We talked before about not cutting holes in the car, and trying to get out of the boot underneath the car can be a problem. But if we can actually fix the battery underneath the car, then it's easy to run the cables up the transmission tunnel to the front battery where all the brains of the battery are. So I think conceptually we know what we want to do. I think we've just got to do this wonderful car justice, right, and try and work our magic on it.
It's going to be a great project, isn't it?
It is going to be an amazing project.
Look forward to seeing it all done.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time down at the Barns. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook